Well, hello everyone. So you can see with technical issues, practice really makes perfect. And I'm learning all the time how to deal with technical issues. So let's get started. I appreciate the introduction, Mr. Nan, and I hope everyone will find this interesting and informative. Okay, so this workshop or this presentation, all right, is called Overcoming the Robotic English Speaking Syndrome, the 4 keys. So now you have control none of the slides, right?
Right.
Well, thanks for the lovely introduction, and I am delighted to be part of the TESOL Camp. Now I invite everyone to march with me to the beat of the Warrior Parade, which is my program, which is all about self-empowerment and personal transformation. This is my company's logo. It's the Warrior Parade. The program is called PEP, the Robotic English Terminator Program. Now, PEP, it's a confidence-building English language theater arts or dramatic arts program which focuses on presentation skills. P is for public speaking and performance. E is for emotional expression or emotive language. And then P again is about vocal projection and pronunciation. So today's presentation is Overcome the Robotic English Speaking Syndrome, the key elements in understanding vocal expression and tone. Without a doubt, I believe that academic and professional career options are expanded for those Asians who are westernized and less robotic. Moreover, combining IELTS, TOEFL, TOEIC, CEFR qualifications with strong presentation skills is a win-win situation. Now, what exactly is the robotic English speaking syndrome? Actually, I created the term the robotic English speaking syndrome after spending more than 10 years working with Asian students and teachers in Taiwan, Malaysia, Thailand, Bangladesh, and of course, Vietnam. Good morning, Vietnam. Simply stated, the robotic English speaking syndrome is a pattern of English speaking that is characterized by shyness, stiffness, the lack of expression, a soft speaking voice a good bit of the time, and the absence of body language or gestures. Now, due to family values and socialization, culture, ESL, EFL training restrictions and limitations, and of course, personal motivation, in Asia, there are thousands of robotic speaking English learners and trainers. And just as a robotic speaker speaks in a monotone voice. Well, let's go to the word monotone. Could you go back to a slide? Let's look at the word monotone. The prefix Mono means one. So monotone means one tone. It's a tone that is one dimensional, as a robot's voice is one dimension. Additionally, the robotic speaking syndrome could be applied to the learning of other languages as well. The truth is, learning a second language is not easy. It's important, though, to be able to express the same emotions in both the native and the second language. Let me say that again. It's important to be able to express emotions in both the native and the second language, and the emotions are the same. And this applies to reading aloud as well. So let's now identify and define the four key elements in understanding vocal expression and tone using interjections. I believe, and this is starting even with kindergarten and going all the way through with university students and professional businessmen and businesswomen, I start with interjections because I want to connect the native language with this second language, and everyone universally is connected to interjections. Now, interjections can be one or two word sentences. Here's an example of a few interjections that are one. Here's one that's two words that we have: hey, yuck, phew, wow, and ouch. And understand that phew is a sentence, even though they're not capitalized in this particular picture. Though expressions like oh and ah, they're all sentences and they are interjections. And many of them are universal. So if we can connect the native language and then the language we're trying to learn with interjections and with gestures, then we're connecting the emotions and feelings together. Now here's some other examples of interjections. No, yes, huh, maybe, yeah, look. Now I would teach interjections with a movement. So we might have look, and I'm pointing so everyone's learning the emotion, the interjection and the movement together, or I can have students create the gestures themselves in groups. You can also have students role play two interjections together. If I'm working with vocal projection, maybe one student says yes, another student says no. So all of a sudden we have yes, no, yes, no. They're very familiar with that and they're not inhibited. So I can bring out the emotion. I can bring out vocal projection simply with yes and no. It's a place I start with kindergarten. And kindergarten kids jump right into yes and no. Please, maybe, stop, stop what? The other ones, no way. Listen, why? Help, hello, hey, stop, come here. Say what? Amazing, careful, stop it, ah, and ooh. All of these are interjections, and there's hundreds of them. So you want to create a file of interjections that you can then work with in your classroom that are one sentence and two sentences, and the sound interjections, very important. Ah, oh, huh? Those are all sentences, and students should learn how to write those and how to then use correct how to use then the question marks, explanation marks, how to use punctuation as well. So we can be learning with reading and writing, dealing with interjections as well, and simple sentence structure. A lot of people think ah or ooh might be, it's not a sentence, but actually it is. Well, drum roll, please. Da, 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 da. Now we have some interjections. And the next slide. So the first element of tone is subtext. Now, subtext is the first element, and subtext is the underlining emotion. It's the emotion behind what we are saying. Subtext drives what we say and how we say it. And it's constantly changing because our emotions and feelings are constantly changing. This is a drama word, but it applies to any kind of subject because it's all about emotion. So once we can identify an emotion, then we have that can be identified as subtext. If I say, yeah, I want to go, the subtext is really, I don't really want to go. So being able to understand the subtext and the emotion behind that is very important. I hope everyone understands that subtext is the emotion behind what we say and how we say it. Now look at a robot. A robot, hello, how are you? The emotion is the same. So it's one-dimensional. So let's look at subtext here and the interjection, please. So in a sentence, please don't hurt me. Please. And the subtext is fear. Very easy then to identify. Please with the subtext fear. Please don't hurt me. Everyone understand? Now pitch is the degree of highness and lowness with the voice. We all have a voice that has a high and a low quality. It deals with intonation and the pattern of pitch changes, and a robotic monotone voice usually has only one pitch. Take me to your leader is all one pitch. So that's one-dimensional. There's no change in the pitch. So our interjection is O, and I'm going to demonstrate O using low and high. O, O, O. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, you hear the pitch change, and that's what makes it exciting. And the subtext is surprise. If I'm just going, oh, it's not clear what the subtext is. But to show the surprise, naturally, emotionally, I have, oh, and we all use that type of emotion and pitch change if we're surprised in using the word oh. It's universal. All right, the third element is intensity. Intensity is all about volume and the range of loudness and softness. Is it loud? Is it soft? Or is there a mixture of loud and soft tones? Here's our example. We have the interjection no, using soft and loud. No, 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 I said no. No, 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 I said no. So I'm showing a variety of the use of loud and soft, which creates emotion. And the anger and the buildup it's the subtext is anger. So I can do that even with one word, no. So I'm using a pitch change, and actually I'm using a volume change as well. The volume change makes it exciting and makes it very expressive. And from kindergarten through adults, we all, emote using loud and soft tones of our voice if we're in tune with our emotions and we're speaking from an emotional place. Okay, now number 4. This is about pacing or duration. Vocal pacing is about speed, how fast or slow something is said. Pacing can involve the use of a pause for dramatic effect. Combining slow and fast creates some excitement in a speech or in some type of presentation. A robot, hello, how are you? The pacing is the same. Now let's look at our interjection. The interjection is maybe. Now listen for the pause. Maybe. It's a nice pause. I'm not sure. So I'm combining a pause, fast and slow. Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It could also be, maybe, I'm not sure. So depending how I want to work with pacing, how I want to work with intensity, how I want to work with duration and the subtext would be then undecided. It makes, as a robot, maybe, I'm not sure, maybe, I'm not sure, it's all the same. Maybe, I'm not sure. All of a sudden, I could say this many different ways, and I'm working with the different elements of tone to make it exciting and make it emotional and to create expression. Well, unfortunately, we can't see these videos, but I have some videos. I'll go through the interjections without showing the video clips. Now remember, subtext drives what we say and how we say it. If you're with a friend and you don't understand what they mean, you're trying to identify what is the subtext. What are you really trying to say? I don't understand. We can apply subtext to everything we say and how it's being said and how we interpret other people's emotions. Without understanding what people are saying and how they're saying it, we can be very confused. I hope everyone understands then how important the word subtext is to real life, and then how important it is to then identify in terms of teaching of English and expressing. Okay, our first movie that we're not going to see the clip is from A Streetcar Named Desire. In this film, Marlon Brando plays Stanley Kowalski, an abusive husband. Stanley is afraid that his wife, Stella, may leave him. There's the poster of Marlon Brando. He won an Academy Award for his acting job, and the film won Best Picture. This is in 1951. All right, so the subtext and anguish of this particular quote from Marlon Brando is anguish and deep regret. We're dealing with pacing and intensity, and if we actually saw the video, he's outside the window Stella has locked the door and he's going, Stella! So you would see anguish, and if I did it as a robot, it would be Stella, Stella. You can see the difference if I add pacing and intensity. Stella changes the thing entirely differently. So let's go, and we can't get that, right? Will it play, maybe? No?
Yes, let me see. I'm sorry, it doesn't work.
Very sorry. We have these exciting. Okay, the next one. All right, this is an interjection, a quote from the movie Frankenstein. This is the 1931 film where Henry Frankenstein realizes that his laboratory subject, which becomes known as Frankenstein, a corpse is made of human body parts, has come alive. Everyone knows the story of Frankenstein. There's the original poster with Boris Karloff. And the subtext of once Henry Frankenstein realizes that his subject has come to life, he's incredibly excited. He's done this experiment and all of a sudden it's come alive. If I said it as a robot, it would be, it's alive, it's alive. But in this particular quote, we're featuring pacing, intensity, and pitch, and you would hear Henry Frankenstein go, it's alive, it's alive, it's alive, it's alive. And it's a buildup of excitement and pacing and intensity. It's very exciting. These were all on YouTube, so you could actually find these if you want to use them in the classroom. But it's a buildup of it's alive, it's alive, it's alive, it's alive. You can see it just changes in terms of pacing, intensity, pitch, and we know the subtext is excitement. The robot, it's alive, it's alive, it's alive. There's nothing happening there. And there's Henry Frankenstein, and Igor in the background, and then Frankenstein's on the lab table. So the next one, and maybe, I don't know who knows this movie, it's called Rosemary's Baby. It's a horror classic. In this particular film, Mia Farrow plays Rosemary Woodhouse in the classic psychological horror film. In this film, something terrible has happened to Rosemary's Baby. And actually, this cult of people that are aligned with the devil have taken her baby, and it's become a devil baby. There's the slide. There's the poster of Mia Farrow, Rosemary's Baby, and John Cassavetes plays her husband. Now, here we're dealing with shock. That Rosemary, for the first time, sees her baby. It was delivered, and she sees it has these green eyes of the devil, and she turns to all these people that are part of this little community of devil worshipers and says to them, "What have you done with his eyes, you maniacs? What have you done with his eyes, you maniacs?" So it's very exciting. And we're emphasizing pitch, intensity, pacing, and the subtext is shock. What have you done with its eyes? This is a baby with devil's eyes looking at its mothers and calls them all you maniacs. Very exciting. And the last, there's Rosemary. Once she looks at the baby, and you can see total shock, and she's appalled at what she's looking at. That's her baby. And finally, we have Robin Williams. Is Adrian Cranauer, a radio DJ on Armed Force Radio Service during the Vietnam War. Perhaps everyone's seen the movie Good Morning Vietnam. Now, I use this one because he uses 3 words. Good Morning Vietnam, there's the poster, but he says this with such expression that it's exciting. It introduces the morning to the troops. And as a robot, it would be Good Morning Vietnam, Good Morning Vietnam. But that's not how we would want to make this exciting. So it would be subtext is enthusiasm. We're dealing with emphasis on pacing and intensity. And Robin Williams does it almost like, Good morning, Vietnam. Good morning, Vietnam. So he's using pacing, intensity, volume to create this excitement for the troops to get them tuned into his radio show. As a robot, Good morning, Vietnam. Good morning, Vietnam. Well, you're going to turn off my show if I'm coming to you with a place that there's no enthusiasm. There's Robin Cranauer. Unfortunately, we don't have that. So, wow. There you have it. 4 elements of tone. Now, imagine that you've been hired to reprogram SUSIE Robot's monotone voice on your job. How can you make SUSIE's robotic voice more expressive? What would you focus on? Well, now you know clearly the elements of tone. And I have to focus on the subtext or the emotion. I have to focus on the pacing, the intensity, and the pitch to make her voice more exciting. That's it. It's subtext, the pacing or duration, the loud and the soft quality of the voice, and the high and the low. The elements of tone. So I hope this presentation has been informative and offers a blueprint as to how to overcome the robotic English speaking syndrome. And it all begins with interjections and connecting the emotions from the native language to the English language. And it's starting with yes, no, okay, maybe, please. It's dealing with interjections that are universal, that we can connect emotions and gestures to, or body language to. Life is all about setting goals. It's about motivation and determination. Life is full of new beginnings and challenges. So if you want to master success in terms of speaking a foreign language and teaching a foreign language and expression, it believes with believing in yourself and that you can do it. Yes, I can do this. Dare to dream, my friends. Dare to believe. March to the beat of your inner warrior, because we all have an inner warrior. So I am not a robot. And back to the beginning, I'm not a robot. So it's really all about yourself and your motivation to want to be the best you can, and to see that expressing emotions can help you in terms of getting jobs or furthering your career in the academic field. If you look at IELTS testing, if you look at the TOEIC testing, they don't focus on vocal projection. They don't focus on emotion. They're focusing on pronunciation some, and are you speaking English properly and using the right sentence structure. The emotion, though, there's no grade for emotion. So if you take it the next step, and that's presentation skills, then that will take you to another win-win situation where you also have presentation skills, plus you have the other skills that are very important. So that's what this workshop has been about in terms of identifying expression and how important presentation skills can be. I'll be in classes with students that are afraid to get up and speak. They don't want to do presentation skills. We just want to speak English. And they want to go, hello, how are you? I'm fine. Well, those students, they may go on with their English language career, but they're not going to have strong presentation skills. They're not connecting the emotions between the native language, and they're going to be robotic. A robotic person that's applying for a job won't get the same job if their qualifications are the same with someone that is very emotional, can speak idioms, are very expressive, outgoing, because the English bosses, the Western bosses, are looking for someone that are Westernized, that can, emote expression. All right, now we'll open this up to any questions or feedback or things you may agree with or disagree. Whatever would be helpful. Maybe Nan has some questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Robert, for a very amazing presentation on this. So perhaps I'm sure that we have a lot of questions about your presentation. Anyone want to take the floor and ask directly the real type question? And then we went back to the closing section, because due to the interest of time, it's almost a time for closing section. Anyone? All right. So well done. I suppose that I still have a lot of questions. Perhaps I will ask you some other time then. So may I have you guys spare a minute or two filling the survey for the conference feedback? So I already posted the link there. And then also I'd like to invite you all to the closing section. And please click on the provided link, and we're back to the beginning, the link that we used from the beginning. So thanks again very much for your full participation. Thank you very much for your informative presentation, Mr. Robert. So
well, thank you all for sharing your comments. I love your voice and sharing. Thank you very much. A lot of energy, amazing. Yeah, I wish you could have seen the videos, but it made me become more expressive and to share with you. So thank you very much.
thank you. Thank you again. And then please get back to the closing section. Please use the same link that we used for the opening. I'll see you there. Thanks again very much.